So does the guy who pulled the trigger really deserve to face charges? Wendy Patrick is a veteran prosecutor and trial attorney. Anahita Sedaghatfar is a criminal defense attorney. Wendy, in hindsight at the guy's record, though, this David Martinez had a long history of burglary, drug use, and theft. Does that make a difference here, Anahita?
Well, it might make a difference in terms of what a jury is going to do, John. I mean, I agree with Wendy. This doctrine requires that you believe that someone is going to commit a crime in your home and that you believe you're going to be harmed. No matter how slight that harm is, you can use deadly force. But the issue here is, can you use deadly force outside of your home and when there is no longer an imminent threat? And that is going to be the issue before a jury. And there is a lot of public sympathy for this man. I sympathize with him. I mean, he was tied up. He was held at gunpoint, robbed in his own home. So I think if he gets charged, it's going to be pretty difficult to get a jury of 12 to convict him. There may even be jury nullification where those jurors won't follow the law because of the sympathy they have for him and because the suspect was a bad guy.
I've had lawyer friends of mine say the same thing, Wendy, that no jury would ever convict this guy just because he's outside in his yard or wherever he pulled the trigger. And Anahita, it sounds like you're kind of on his side in this one, but if you were the prosecutor bringing charges, what would you charge him with?
Well, it would be a homicide here, and, you know, it's going to be tough for the prosecution in terms of getting a jury to convict, again, based on this public sentiment. Now, I guess as a defense attorney, if I were defending him, you could argue that maybe he didn't believe the threat was abated, that when he was outside of the home, that the suspect still had his gun pointed at him. And that is a stretch because I think the facts will show the suspect was fleeing, that he really was no longer a threat in this situation. So I'm not sure this is going to be a viable defense.
Well, Wendy, I have some
Absolutely,
updated.
right.
We'll let people know what happens. So far, no charges officially filed as far as we know. Wendy Patrick, Anahita Sedaghatfar, thank you both.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.